Enjoy your time in Vegas.
Every Securitron on the... Wow. Really? Yay! Okay. You... No.
It's hard to sleep in this place, I tell you. Last night some girl was...
Crocker can kiss my sweet Republic ass.
Beg your pardon, but could I trouble you to turn over? How frightfully uncouth.
Watch out.
Got you. Humbly at your service. A pleasure to...
That fiend leader shouldn't have messed with our great army.
You watch yourself around, Mr. Gunderson.
How may I be of service, man? No, not from the likes of you.
Troublesome Legion camp got razed to the ground.
All right, ladies, show's over.
All right, girls, show's over. Wanna dance? Kick 'em more.
Come on, big man. Roll up in here.
So I hear Mr. House runs
Prepare
this
for
strip.
this.
Oh! Ha! You... Anyway, Mr. House ran projections on how the NCR public will react to a defeat at Hoover Dam. Overwhelming. But if Kimball dies at Hoover Dam, there's no obvious scapegoat for them to blame, so they'll blame New Vegas. So that means reduced tourism for up to 5 years. Great. A ranger named Graham. Once the president is safe, there's one. This gadget I'm handing you is called an override module. Mr. House had 2 of these made years and years ago. Take the module to the El Dorado substation and attach it to the power control terminal. Great.
Take your best shot, then we'll take ours.
Let's roll up.
We keep an eye out for Legion raiding parties. We'll love to trip down.
Over here.
You're out staying low.
Take your best shot, then we'll take ours.
Don't you love seeing the lucky exciting news! The Legion's massing troops in a staging area east of the dam. Attack imminent! Great! It turns out there's only one way for us to win this battle and make it stick. That's exactly why this... You remember how the Securitron army at the fort got destroyed? For very, very good reason. Well, the problem is that's left us with enough Securitrons to drive off a weakened NCR for us. But, so what we do is... Not the whole thing, thank goodness. All you have to do is destroy the power generators. Without the generators, Hoover Dam's just a... Take this override module. Install the...
I can't believe it.
We must get to the control room and install the override generator.
Let's get going.
right there. No one is allowed into the control room. Stop right there.
This is neat. From this console, I could have routed the damn... So, go...
Anything moves, it's gonna get it.
What was that?
An envoy of Vegas, yet you carry yourself for battle. If so, you can... Many graves in the East. It is... I see you fight with words, like all beneath the flag of the bear. Let us hope your skill... You dare speak that name, comparing him to any man. You think me some... You believe your own. Perhaps NCR. They know nothing of my tactics. We did take the towers easier than expected. I cannot believe even the Republic would overlook such... Yet we are at the throat of the Great Bear. You play on my instincts. Yet your intention... Unless you seek to goad me into a retreat, lead... You speak with conviction, and more importantly, with honor. Grams hope the Republic shall keep their old world gift. Perhaps it is unfortunate, Wolf, until the...
Caesar on the cross. Been a long time since I've seen the kind of work you've laid down today. And the screams of those Legion bastards as they kick dirt running east. Speaking of, that crazy light show over the fort? What the fuck was that? Some kind of thumb of God you called down? Could use 100 of you. Just scatter you over the east like jacks. Give those plum fucks... And, well... Guess it ain't no secret how you, I say, can you ask them to put their weapons down? I was just reaching in my coat to give you a cigar. Figured as much. Come on.
You did a super job wrapping things up. I didn't want to make a big deal about this. I found some code snippets in one of Mr. House's databanks that will let me, reprogram my personality. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And it's going to take me a while, so it'll seem like I'm offline. But don't... I've updated the Securitron's targeting parameters, so they know what to do. So that's where I'll be. Off making a few changes. We accomplished a...
And so the courier who had cheated death in the cemetery outside Good Springs cheated death once again, and the Mojave wasteland was forever changed. The courier, with the aid of Yes Man, drove both the Legion and the NCR from Hoover Dam, securing New Vegas's independence from both factions. With Mr. House out of the picture, the remaining Securitrons on the Strip were hard-pressed to keep order. Anarchy ruled the streets. When the fires died, New Vegas remained, assuming its position as an independent power in the Mojave. Supporting the ideals of independence, the courier was recognized as the woman responsible for a truly free New Vegas. She ensured that Mr. House's tyranny was broken, and that neither Caesar's Legion nor NCR would ever gain control over New Vegas.
Tabitha and Rhonda went east, through Caesar's land. Occasionally, tales of their exploits found their way back west, though few believed them. Eventually, the stories concerning the duo were collected and published, and proved to be quite popular with children.
Still grappling with self-doubt over his usefulness in the face of old age, Raoul was never able to find peace with himself. Eventually, he left the Mojave and assumed a new name, as he had done so many times before.
Though the wasteland became anarchic after Hoover Dam, the Boomers' display of power dissuaded fortune seekers from attempting to penetrate Nellis.
The Brotherhood used the Battle of Hoover Dam as an opportunity to retake Helios 1, and came to control the area between it and Hidden Valley. With no organized opposition, their patrols began monitoring trade along I-15 and 95, seizing any items of technology they deemed inappropriate.
The Fiends attacked Camp McCarran during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, and, despite suffering heavy losses, overran it. They continued to be a nuisance throughout Outer Vegas, but never established full control over the area.
After the Courier ensured New Vegas remained free, the followers found that independent Vegas was even more unstable and violent than before. Old Mormon Fort became excessively burdened by the influx of patients, struggling to provide even the most basic of services.
Arcade was proud to have been one of the defenders who helped repel the Legion from Hoover Dam. He was prouder still to see the area freed from the shackles of the NCR and Mr. House. Though independence for New Vegas was not all he hoped it could be, Arcade used his Enclave knowledge and technology to keep order wherever he could.
With New Vegas's independence formally declared, Goodsprings thrived. More travelers stopped by Goodsprings on their way to and from the Strip, and the locals grew prosperous from the traffic.
The slaughter of the Van Graffs in the Crimson Caravan caused no end of trouble for NCR back west. Already struggling, NCR's supply line suffered further as the two caravans withdrew support until the massacre in the east was resolved. Cass lived to see the Courier bring down 3 armies, and by her count, that was 3 more than she'd expected. She kept quiet about that, though.
After generations of being beaten down, the great Khans were finally broken by the Courier. Those few who avoided the Courier's wrath moved north into the wilderness of Idaho, where they tried once more to rebuild.
Thanks to the Courier and Lily, a cure for the Nightkin's schizophrenia was found shortly after Dr. Henry's experiment concluded. Nightkin and other super mutants in the wasteland flocked to Jacobstown, and the town became known as a haven where a mutant could find peace.
Lily continued to take her medicine at half doses, and although she remembered her grandchildren, her mind remained muddled and confused. Eventually, she parted ways with the Courier and traveled west, seeking the remnants of her past.
The Kings retained their control of Freeside, and while they continued to favor the needs of locals, they tolerated the citizens of the defeated NCR.
Revitalized by Violetta's brain, Rex eventually learned to balance the memories of his old life with Violetta's experiences among the brutal fiends. His mind had difficulty adjusting, but Rex eventually found peace with his new, more vicious self.
While the destruction of the Repcon rockets appeared to be a boon to the salvagers of Novak, the benefit would never be realized. Radioactive fuel from the wrecked ships seeped out and contaminated the area. Salvagers were forced to move on, and the town was abandoned.
After Hoover Dam, the leaderless powder gangers at the correctional facility vanished into the wastes, leaving the prison empty. The correctional facility became another abandoned ruin in the wasteland, its carcass occasionally picked over by enterprising prospectors.
Armed with a wide array of improvised explosives and stolen weapons, the Vault 19 powder gang tormented the Mojave wasteland for years. Citizens of the NCR were favored targets, and they always suffered the worst fates.
After Hoover Dam,
Sheriff Myers runs Primm with his own style of frontier justice. He deals with most folks fairly, but now and then someone winds up dead with little to no evidence against them.
After their bold arrival at Hoover Dam, the remnants disappeared as quickly as they came. Legends of their power spread throughout the Southwest, a reminder of why people once feared the sight of vertibirds in the sky.
And so the Courier's Road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died just as they had in the old world. Because war never changes.